Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Rock the Finish Line for the 2022 five-star chapter development year. We are so glad that you're here. Also, we get to say Happy New Year for the first time to many of you because we haven't been together since December. So Happy New Year. We hope you're having a good semester if you're back, or maybe you still have this week off and you go back to classes next week. But either way, Happy New Year, happy spring semester. And I know today being a deadline day for Hallmark Awards, I'm sure plenty of you have been working very hard over the last several days or weeks or hours to submit those individual Hallmark Awards that are due today. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. Today, I just want to, we're here to just kind of like set the stage, answer any final questions, go over a few things so that we are all together with five-star updates and also the Hallmark Awards. And at the end, we'll answer any questions you may have. If you'd like, please feel free to utilize the chat to place your questions there, and we will answer them as we go along. Today is an exciting day for all of us here also at headquarters. I get to share a lot of this with Aslana Casada. She's going to be doing the portion on five-star and a little bit on Hallmark. So we're excited to have her with us today. Aslana serves as the Student Engagement Programs Coordinator for Phi Theta Kappa. And she's going to be talking to you in a few minutes. So yay, Aslana, thank you for coming today. Reagan Chastain is with us. You want to go to, Susan Edwards is also with us. She is our curriculum designer, and Susan Edwards is our Associate Vice President of Honors Program and Undergraduate Research. And we are just all glad that you're here. Jennifer Stanford, as you can imagine, who is our Associate Vice President of Program Implementation and also works with the Hallmark Awards, is very busy today, but if we need to get a question to her, we will. And so that comprises our student engagement team at this time. So thanks for joining us, and we're going to get started. And I'm actually going to turn it over to Aslana.
Hi, thank you so much, Patty. So today we have a couple of different topics that we're going to go over. So like Patty mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about the five-star chapter plan and how to set a goal, report your progress, and check on your region and just cheer on your region. And we want to quickly highlight that the deadline to post your final update is January 20th, 2023. And then towards the end of this presentation, we'll talk a little briefly about some of the Hallmark Awards. Patty, I know you had some words on this one right here, which was just the overall big picture of the chapter engagement in each of those levels.
We do. I do have some words. So we know that this past year, and right now we're all focused on the five-star chapter plan and getting our final updates in, right? So those updates to each of the levels of the plan, and you know there are 5, and we want to get every chapter possible as high as we can, right? Especially to the 5th level. So level 1 was all about recognizing academic excellence. Level 2, chapter engagement and leadership. You know, do we have our officers? Have you reported your chapter officers? And this is key, because if you're going to nominate them for a Hallmark Award, they would have had to have been reported so that they can be nominated for a Hallmark Award. Level 3 is all about regional engagement, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on making sure that you have checked those boxes under level 3 for events that you participated with the region that your chapter is with. Level 4 is all about college project, right? And have you implemented that college project, and have you checked off that box? And then, of course, we're going to review big time the 5th level, you know, your honors in action. And we're going to reinforce and talk about what the requirements are on for the Hallmark Awards to be considered a 5-star chapter. Now, remember, the 5-star chapter plan is all about recognition. You know, we want to get as many chapters as we can to that 5th level. And the key word for me and everybody in the student engagement team when it comes to the 5-star level is just trying, right? And we'll talk about that later on. You may be thinking, well, we didn't get to our college project on our honors in action. What do we do now? So we'll talk about that later. But remember, the 5-star chapter plan is all about recognition and trying the different projects in each level.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. So now I'm going to go ahead and walk everyone through how to log on to ptk.org and report your progress. So I'm going to quickly pull up my internet browser. Can you let me know, Patty, if you can see my screen?
I can see it.
Awesome. Okay.
And while you're doing that, I just want to add, for any of chapter officers that are on board that are viewing this, any chapter officer that's been reported or an advisor can actually do the update for their chapter.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So you're going to start off at by going to ptk.org, and then on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to click on the little person icon. If you're not automatically logged in, then you will have to log in at the top bar. So just go ahead and click on log in and enter in your email address and password that was used when you created this account or when the account was created for you. Let me go ahead and quickly log in. From here, you should automatically be taken to this page. If not, you'll just go ahead and click on the advisors tab at the top and then scroll down until you are underneath the program section. And we have a lot of information here. So if you have time, feel free to check out the Honors in Action College Project, Civic Scholar, Changemakers area to get some more information about that. But for this session, you're going to go ahead and click on 5-star chapter plan. And you can see some detailed level requirements by clicking on this link. But for today, you're going to go ahead and click on progress reports. You'll find your region, and I'm going to use Arizona region because that is the region that I came from. And I'm going to put Estrella Mount Community College on the spotlight because that is also the chapter that I worked for previously. And so once you click on your chapter, you're taken to the 5-star chapter plan detail. Here you can get an overview of each of your levels and the requirements in each level. You'll notice that there are green check marks and then there's a red X. The green check mark means that that requirement for that level has been completed. There's nothing else for you to do currently. But if there is a red X, then take note of that because that means something is missing. Either an advisor or a delegated officer would have to make an update, or headquarters will have to make an update. So take note first to see what's missing, what's been done, and then when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and click on the report your progress button. Here you'll be taken to the progress report form, and you'll notice a couple of things. You'll notice at the 1-star level, there's 3 requirements, but each of those requirements are checked off by headquarters. So that means that you as the advisor or the delegated officer, you don't have to make any changes to this area. That will be done by headquarters staff. Level 2, you'll see that you only have 1 requirement that you have to submit an answer for. And then requirements 2 and 3 are also checked off by headquarters. And so if you are shooting for a 5-star chapter for 2022, you'll make sure to select that option. In level 3 and level 4, there are 2 requirements each level, and you will have to select an option for each of those. So make sure you're not missing one of those. You want to make sure that you are reading through the requirements and selecting which one you've participated in. And then if you go down to the 5-star level, there's only 1 requirement that you have to physically put an answer to. And if you've completed that Honors in Action project, then you'll select yes. Requirements 2 and 3 are checked off by headquarters. And so if we go back to our detailed progress report, just to kind of highlight it, you'll notice that the second requirement for level 5 has that X. That means that they're just waiting for headquarters to check off their progress reports. And as Patty mentioned, those Hallmark Award entries are coming in, and some of them are currently being judged, and some of them will be judged in the next few weeks. So that will automatically be updated for the chapter. But to give you another example of one of our other chapters in this region, if we look at Pima Community College, you'll notice that levels 1 and 2 are also fully completed, but levels 3, 4, and 5 have some missing components. So that's when we would want to make, we would want our chapters to make note to go in there and update their progress if they have completed each of these requirements. And let me go ahead and go back to the presentation really quick. And Patty, I know that we went over in detail levels 1 and 2, but if you wanted to talk about levels 3 through 5 and maybe some of the confusion surrounding some of the submissions for that.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Islana. For level 3, it's all about engaging with your region, right? And so there are 2 requirements, and we're going to take a look at both of those requirements. So getting involved at the regional level. So the first requirement is, getting involved in the region using one of the following ways. So if your chapter had a member campaign for regional office last spring, not the one that we're in now, not that they're getting ready to campaign for this year. But if they campaigned in last spring, March, February, March, April of 2022, that would count. So that would meet that requirement, whether they were elected or not, as long as they campaigned for regional office. If your chapter, whether it's an advisor or alumni member or, members of your chapter hosted or provided some sort of leadership role at a regional meeting in 2022, that would also meet that requirement. Almost all of our regions have regional projects, whether they are collecting for something or doing, doing something based on diversity, equity, inclusion, or whichever their regional projects are, they, count on the chapters in the region to participate. So if you did that as well, that would count for that particular one. Or if you collaborated, say you haven't been able to work with the region or you're just getting started, maybe you collaborated online or in person with 2 other chapters, a chapter that's close by. Maybe you're at a college with multiple chapters, right? Multiple campuses, multiple chapters, and you collaborate with them to do something, that also counts. The other way is if the chapter advisor, if your chapter advisor serves in any sort of capacity on the regional advisory board, you would need to check with them to see if that would be the case if you're not sure. But those are the 5 different ways that you can definitely check off that box. Now it's up to the chapter to check off that box, one of those boxes under level 1. For the second one, it's about a chapter representative participating, whether virtually or in person, in any regional event, regional meeting that was sponsored by the region. And that event, that meeting, that whatever it was, that fellowship event, that game night, that whatever, if it was virtually, anywhere from January 1st of last year to December 31st counts. And so you'll want to check off that box. It can be in person or virtually. Okay, very good. So those are the 2 boxes. So headquarters doesn't check those off. Regional coordinators don't check that box. We need the advisors to check off that box. And of course, it's on the honor system. So please make sure you go in and check both of those boxes as you are updating. So for the 4th level, one of the tricky things that we have is this. There's 2 requirements, and it is about developing that college project and building your administrative support. There's 2 requirements there. The first one is implement a college project. So if your chapter has completed the college project, and I'm not talking about submitting the Hallmark Award for it. So even if you've completed your college project and you're planning on submitting that college project next week, don't wait that long. But if you're submitting it next week, we still need you to check that box. We need the chapter to check off that box that says we've implemented a college project. It's separate from the Hallmark Awards, okay? The second one also brings sometimes a little confusion where it says enter at least one category in your 2023 regional awards competition. And that's what we're in, right? Our next Catalyst event is in 2023. And we call what we signify the Hallmark Awards this year as the 2023 Hallmark Awards, but it's based on everything you've done in 2022. So enter one category in your 2023 regional awards. Now, the good thing about this is if when you submit your college project or honors in action or individual award, you're submitting it to us, but it counts in 2 places. It counts on the international level and it counts on the regional level, right? So therefore that submitting those awards does count on both. And we need you to also check off that box when you do that, right? It's not automatic. The other thing is some regions, mostly all of them, have specific awards that are specific to the region, whether it's a fellowship award or any, some sort of, recognition that they provide on the regional level that has nothing really to do with the Hallmark Awards or anything that we've been working on, you may submit directly probably to the regional coordinator or the regional officers of that team. That also counts, so you'll want to check that box. So both boxes under level 4 is something for you to check off. Okay, so if you're submitting those Hallmark Awards and you've implemented that college project, check off both boxes in level 4. Moving on to level 5, right? Yeah, who's going for 5? I'm feeling a lot of 5s in the room. Yes, lots of 5s. So this is where we all want to be, right? And that's all about developing that honors in action project and getting involved at the international level. And as a former advisor, I would say, at the beginning of the year, if that last box was checked off that our chapter attended Catalyst, it means I was working backwards for the rest of the year, right? Because we got that check in level 5. So I'm going to start there, the third requirement. If that box is not checked off currently for your chapter, that means your chapter probably wasn't able to attend Catalyst. So the first requirement doesn't work because it was for Catalyst in 2022. We're going to skip the next 2 and look at the last one. Submit an entry in the honors case study challenge. That was due November 7th. So that isn't applicable anymore. So the only thing that you have left is either requirement button number 2 or 3. At least 3 officers or members and complete any unit. We're not talking about the whole course. We're talking about 1 unit. Any 3 officers or members. It could be 2 officers and a member. It could be all members, whatever you'd like to do. Completed any unit in PTK Edge course for the calendar year. So we want to make sure that you take a look at that, use that as an option, and also the leadership development course. I'm going to go back up to taking a look at that level 5 box. We can go back. You can go ahead there. So level 5, again, the same as in level 4. If you've implemented a college project, we want you to check off that box. Okay, that's your box to check. The final 2 are what we will take care of. So that's submitting your Hallmark Awards, and the international event or program participation in 2022 is checked off by headquarters, but we need you to check off that box in number 5. And I know some of you right now are thinking, well, we didn't implement an honors and action project in its entirety. What should we do? And we'll talk about that in a minute. So in level 5, you just have that 1 box that you want to check off.
Perfect. Thank you, Patty. And again, the deadline to report your 5-star chapter progress is January 20th, 2023. So that's less than 10 days away. So you just want to make sure that you're going in there and updating your progress as soon as possible so that we can recognize you for all that you've done this calendar year. And now we're going to go ahead and briefly talk about the different Hallmark Award categories. There are several different types of them, but like Patty mentioned earlier, the Hallmark Award submissions are double the recognition. So when you do make an entry at my.ptk.org, you're entering for both regional and international competitions. And so there's not any extra step that you have to do as long as
Oh, Aslana, I don't know if you can hear me, but we're not hearing you at this time. Maybe try, Aslana, can you hear me? Maybe try turning off your video.
Yes.
Try that, and then.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Perfect. Okay. Patty, can you go ahead and talk a little bit about Catalyst and how we recognize the chapters for the awards that they acquire once they've submitted these Hallmark Award entries?
Oh, yes. That's my favorite thing. Like one of my favorite things, right, is Catalyst. And we're all about the bling of PTK, right? And I think raise your hand or put it in the chat if you've attended a Catalyst, whether it was last year or years prior. I see alums in here. It's an exciting time. And what you're seeing there is this was last year's Catalyst. I see some outstanding distinguished chapter awards there, and advisor awards being presented there, and it's just an amazing time. So what happens is when you submit your Hallmark awards, they are ranked amongst all the chapters for the international awards to be given at Catalyst, and then also on the regional level. Each region is then your awards are then ranked in the region, and there's regional awards. So at Catalyst, it's just a fun time to get up on that stage to get the bling, because we all love the bling in PTK, right? Absolutely. And it's just a great time, and it is about the competition with the Hallmark awards in this sense. And it's putting forth your very best if you're putting that Hallmark award in to be competitive, right? There are 50 college project awards given. There's 50 honors in action. There are the top 100 chapters, and it's a very exciting time. So, when you think about like the 1,200 plus some chapters that are in Phi Theta Kappa and the thousands of entries that we get, it's a pretty big deal. You have to be really competitive to be one of those chapters on stage.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I want to quickly highlight, and we'll say these a couple of times throughout this presentation, but there are several Hallmark award deadlines coming up. They are all due at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We just had one pass. So the College CEOs and Administrator Hallmark Awards was due on December 7th. The members, officers, advisor Hallmark Awards, those are due today, January 11th. So make sure that you're submitting those by 5 p.m. today. The Honors in Action and College Project Hallmark Awards are due next week on January 18th. And the Alumni.
I think we lost this, Lana. Lana, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me, Patty?
Now we can, yeah.
Okay. Did you hear me give the alumni date? Because that is due January 30th for everybody. If you didn't quite hear me there, you can submit your entries at my.ptk.org.
Okay.
And to go on, I'm just going to quickly talk about the different types of administrator awards. So we have 5 different subcategories, and these were all due in December. And the early deadline was applied so that headquarters can notify award recipients, and they can make plans to join us at Catalyst in April. Attendance is not required if you do win an award. However, we wanted to give colleges enough notice so that they can make those arrangements. The member, officer, and advisor awards are due today, and there are several subcategories for each. So member awards, advisors can nominate the entire team with one entry for the Distinguished Chapter Officer Team Award, or they can also nominate 2 individual officers for the Distinguished Chapter Officer Award. There's also the Distinguished Chapter Member Award. But for that particular award, the nominee must not have served in an officer elected position for that entire calendar year. And that does include chapter, officer, and chapter, regional, and international officer positions. The advisor awards, there are 4 categories, and you could also nominate an entire advisor team. And then the other 3 awards are based off of years of service. So if you are a brand new advisor serving less than 3 years, you can be nominated for the Paragon Awards for new advisors. If you've served longer than 4 years, you can be nominated for the Distinguished Advisor Award. And if you've already been nominated for the Distinguished Advisor Award, then you can be nominated for the Continued Excellence Award for advisors. Now, the Regional Officer Awards, there's 3 categories for that, and these entries are submitted by the regional coordinator. The regional awards for excellence are written by the regional officers in collaboration with the regional coordinator. The Alumni Awards, there's 2 of them, and those are both due January 30th by 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you have the Alumni Hall of Honor and the Distinguished Alumni Association Award. Now, the chapter awards include the honors and action projects and college projects, and both of these are required if you are aiming for a 5-star chapter. This is due on Wednesday, January 18th by 5 p.m. Central Standard, so a week from today. And Patty, if you quickly want to go ahead and share some Hallmark basics with everyone.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody here knows, but if not, we just wanted to review these, review this really quick. And I also wanted to point out that if today your chapter is not submitting an individual category in the individual awards, you can, and if you are able to, submit an alumni Hall of Honor submission on January 30th, and that counts as an individual award. I just like to reiterate that. So those of you that are saying there, oh my gosh, we didn't get that individual award done, what are we going to do? And we need to have it. You have actually another opportunity with the alumni submission. So just the basics, right? Advisor, in order for you to submit your Hallmark awards, an advisor needs to nominate someone as a Hallmark delegate in the system so that you have access to that. Members write entries for the categories, right? Except for the ones where it requires an advisor nomination. The advisor and or college nominations are required for some individual categories. And I just want to reiterate this, that your nomination should reflect all of the activities, or your Hallmark award entries should include all of the activities for the full calendar year of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, right? So that's what you're basing your writings on in your Hallmark award entries, on things that happened during that time period. For more information on that, you can go to ptk.org/hallmarks. Also, for advisors that need that information, there are instructions on how to nominate a delegate, assign delegate properties to a student. And if you need any assistance with that, please reach out to myself or Jennifer Stanford, and we will help you with that. All right. So there's the question, right? Whoa, we didn't finish our projects, now what? So I really want to take everybody back to the beginning when we were talking about 5-star, right? And we were talking about that being, about recognition. And if you are a chapter, and I don't think there's anybody on here now, but it could be, and anybody that might be viewing this later, if you're a chapter that started out of the gate really strong and you were going to have a college project and an honors in action, and you really didn't expect some of the bumps in the road that may have come along, and you started a college project or you started the honors in action but didn't quite get to the end, we still want to know about it, right? Because this is about trying, right? We wanted you to try to do that college project and honors in action. And so what we would like for you to do is still submit a Hallmark award entry, right? And use it as a reflection piece, right? Especially with the honors in action. I've been working with a few chapters over the last couple of weeks that have been in this, where they were just getting reactivated, and for the first time they were looking at the honors study guide, and they didn't know what they were going to do. And I said, look, we just want you to try, open the guide, take a look at it, go through the steps of planning an honors in action project, right? Write down what you've learned, get to the resources, figure out what you would do, hypothesize what it might look like at the end as a potential project. You may not get to that, but you can at least tell us what were the things that you saw or participated in, and all of that as a reflection piece in the honors in action Hallmark award entry. Two things will happen there. You will get credit, right, for getting started, for submitting the Hallmark award entry. Credit as a 5-star chapter, because we need that Hallmark award to do so. But for this year, it's even better. It gives you kind of a head start for those chapters, right? They've started it, they may not have implemented it, and the honor study topic stays the same for this year, right? The art and science of play. So really, they could just pick up and start over and have that full implementation this year. If you need some additional help with this, always feel free to reach out to me and we will walk you through it. But we want you to just try. I'm sure you've tried a college project. It may not have, maybe it has gotten all the way to the point where it was just about ready and something happened. Maybe it was something out of your control and you can't say, well, we didn't finish it. We still want to hear about it. We still want you to reflect upon it in the Hallmark award entry, because we want to give you the credit for what you were able to complete. Okay, so no, please don't feel like, okay, well, it didn't finish. We're not going to be able to do this. We can't do the Hallmark award entry. We want you to, right? Just let us know what happened with that. Okay.
Perfect. And then that brings us to kind of to wrap up everything. To be a 5-star chapter, you do have to make sure that you're submitting a Hallmark award entry for each of these categories. So again, you're going to want to submit that Hallmark award for the Honors in Action project, the college project, and then one in one of the individual categories. And again, that can include an administrator award if you've already done that, or an advisor, officer, member, or alumni Hall of Honor award. And again, the advisor, officer, member awards are due today. The alumni award is due January 30th. So there's still some time to complete that and get those categories in. Both Honors in Action and College Project are due next week. So you have time. We're here to support you as well, but we're also here if you have questions, so you can ask them now in the chat. You can also email us, and I included both.
Yeah. Aslan, maybe stop sharing your screen. And then yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, let's see. Let's just open it up for questions. I didn't see any in the chat. Reagan, did you see any questions in the chat as we were going on?
The one we had took care of it, so.
Okay, I saw you typing away. I figured that's what you were doing. Hi, Miguel.
Hey, Patty. Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Were you working on Hallmark Awards, Miguel?
Yes, the chapter is working very hard on them.
All right.
They're going to be in.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions? Need advice? Need us to, I don't know, cheer you on? Like, what can we do for you? Mary Linder I saw she was drinking pink drinks from Starbucks today. That had to help a little bit, right, Mary?
Absolutely. Lavada sent me the Starbucks gift card last night.
All right. Anybody having any kind of questions, concerns?
Regarding the members, chapters whose members completed any EDGE program, is there someone that delegates can inquire as far as maybe a summary report of those of the numbers that completed them?
The EDGE report,
Any of the EDGE reports, yeah.
Yep, if you can tell me what your chapter, or put it in the chat where your chapter is, and we will work on that for you.
Okay, great. I will do that. Thank you.
Anybody else? You guys have this.
There's one in the chat now.
Oh, okay. I don't see it. Okay, I'm sorry. I should open up the chat. That would be
Is
nice.
it,
Button open.
I'm trying to make sure I understand the question. Isn't team members a 5-star requirement? Are you saying submitting the Hallmark Team Award a 5-star requirement? I'm not sure I understand that question exactly.
I'm not sure either. I mean, if it refers to reporting chapter officers, yes, you have to, every chapter has to report at least one and let me phrase it. You would have had to report a chapter officer sometime in 2022. As long as there was an officer reported in the year 2022, you're good. And I'm not sure if that's the question.
I think they're asking if you have to submit the Officer Team Award, and that is one that you can submit, but is not one that you are required to submit. So just to clarify, you are required to submit an Honors in Action, you're required to submit a college project, and then you are required to submit at least one additional award. And that could be Officer Team Award, it could be an officer, just an officer award, it could be a member award. So it's a total of 3 submissions. But it does not have to be the officer team. It could be any of those individual awards as well.
Zena, you have a question? No, hands up.
No, I forgot to put my hand down. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. No worries.
Thank you
All
for
right.
doing this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We have another session tomorrow for international, how to make your international officer candidacy shine. Jennifer Stanford will be hosting that one. And if you have chapter members, or if there's any member that's interested in that, Miguel, are you here still? No, I think
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Come on, give us a few words on how wonderful it is to be an international officer.
It's absolutely amazing being an international officer. I would highly recommend this position to anyone. It's been absolutely life-changing. It's an experience that I would not want to take away. I'm glad that I went for it. I'm glad that I'm here. And just know, on behalf of all the international officers, we are so looking forward to recognizing you all on becoming 5-star chapters at Catalyst here in April. We hope you all are registered, getting registered. We're pumped to see you all. We have some fun things planned, so let's go.
All right.
And before that, he's coming to Texas.
Very true, Mary.
Yay. Very good. Very good.
This is,
Yes,
I do have a question, Patty. I just want to confirm. I did put in the chat for confirmation, because I know my students completed PTK Edge and leadership, but is there a way for us to confirm that they completed, or do we email PTK and then you've got to give us a confirmation? I was just a little confused on that.
So as an advisor, and I'm trying lightly on this one because I'm not 100% sure, because they are still working on my login. I can't see what you see as an advisor currently. But from what I understand is, if you go into on your dashboard, you should be able to see at the very bottom participation, Edge participation, and you can run a report from there.
Okay.
Right? Am I correct in that?
Yes, it is in the dashboard. There, so there's some numbers in the dashboard that currently represent, and we've got to do some a little more explaining and a little revamp on the dashboard. But there is in the dashboard, there's a set of numbers that show up in like a table. And those are for 2023. So those are current numbers. And then you can also run a report right underneath that in the dashboard that will give you actually every person who's ever completed any of the edges. You can export it as an Excel file and then sort it by year or by chapter or by course, or however you want to sort that. So yeah, all of that is definitely in the dashboard.
I'm going to log in real quick so I can show the advisors real quick where they can see this. It's not going to run for me because it's just not ready to do that for me. Hold on one second, and this way you can see what she's talking about. I've been trying to get it pulled up. Hold on, takes a second.
And Patty, while you're doing that, I guess my second question is, so like I went in and submitted everything, because we submitted all the Hallmark awards and we did the college project and the honors in action. We did all the proposal and all of that. So then do we get an email or something that confirms we're a 5-star, or do I just go in and I see on the platform that we are a 5-star?
Okay, I'll share that to you in a second, but this I will, and that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up, Regina. So this is what the dashboard looks like, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see the numbers, and this is what we were talking about: competitive edge, all the edges. Now these have been reset for the new year, so everyone is at 2023, but you would click that download participation report, and that'll give you a list of everybody in your chapter that has ever completed it, right, Reagan? That's what we're positive of that, right? And that's where you can go there. So to your other question, Regina, to see how do you know when you won't get an email from us immediately, but what you can do is refresh you're in Texas, right, Regina? Is she there? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, I'm
correct.
here. Sorry, I was muted. I apologize. Yes, Texas. And then if you go all the way down to the S's, where Sigma, all the way down.
Yeah, so, I knew it was gonna come to me eventually.
That's right.
Sigma Delta.
Galveston College. There we go.
Galveston, right. So I'm
Right.
looking here, and this is one way. You could look on this page and you can see you're at currently at a 4, and let's just take a look.
Yeah, well, I just submitted the progress report and everything, I think, this morning.
Oh, give yourself a hand.
Oh.
All the yay, Regina, I'm so happy for you. I know you
Thank
worked
you.
so hard for your chapter. It
Yeah.
takes a while. It takes like 24 hours for all of the systems to talk the same language and actually to say the same language. So what's going to happen is what we've been doing is sharing on social media every couple days, all the
Okay.
chapters that start to get it. So I see all green boxes here. So eventually you'll
So,
see
and-
that 5 in the first part.
Okay, so I see the 5 stars. Now, before I did that, there were 4. So that means everything's been verified and we are officially a 5-star at this point.
Yes, ma'am, because looky here.
Okay.
Yay! I'm so proud of you and your chapter. Excellent. Congratulations. And
I'm a happy regional coordinator.
yes, you are. Yes, you are.
When was the last time back in 2000?
Long time, yeah.
Long
Yeah,
time.
we were
Regina.
5-star in 2004. Okay, great. All
Yeah.
right.
Great
wanna
job,
let-
Gina. Great job.
Our VP of Public Relations wants to write up the little report, the press release to give it to her office, and I wanted to make sure it was official. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, Regina, make sure
Yes.
you apply for the most improved chapter in one of our regional awards.
Oh, where do I do that?
The entry is on our regional website, txbtk.org.
But is that something I would have to submit us for? The most improved? I mean, that kind of like
Your officers can write it up. It's short, 500 words.
Oh, okay. All right. When's that due by?
February 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Do
all right.
it.
I do.
Do
I
it.
did.
Do
I
it.
did. They did tell me they put me in for like advisor or something. So
Good.
I have, all right.
They
All
should.
right. I'll take that. Thank you. I'll take a look. All right. Thank you.
Regina, I'll be sending you an email once it's all official and we see everything, and then we create. Probably on Friday, I'll be doing another upload of 5-star chapters.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have questions? No, this has been fun. I love this meeting. Hi, Dariana. Are you? I no, see, she joined us. Are you still with us? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. You need to give a plug about how great it is to serve as an international officer.
I loved being able to get to know so many different people around the country that are involved in Phi Theta Kappa, and really you just learn a lot about yourself, about your leadership, and get to meet and work with a lot of great people. So it's been a really, really great experience.
It is. You've done a really, really great job, you and the team. And so they should absolutely attend tomorrow's session with Jennifer, right? How to shine as an international officer candidate, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be there.
All right. Thanks for coming today.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we don't want to keep you longer because we know, I'm sure if you're sitting in this meeting, you're probably done and you're just working on next week's deadline. And so please let us know if there's anything that you need. We do answer our emails, and we're more than glad to help you out along the way. So congratulations to everybody, and on a fantastic year. I know all of you have, and for those that couldn't join us, we know you're busy working, and we congratulate you as well. Just one more reminder about tomorrow's meeting for international officer candidacy. I'll send it in the update that I emailed to everybody once this, the recording processes. We are gonna, in student engagement, we're gonna take a little break. We have a lot to do coming up in the months of getting ready for Catalyst. So we will resume these meetings probably early March. We'll get back to you as to a date, but we're taking February off to get settled with Catalyst. And we hope that we see you then, and we look forward to seeing all of you at Catalyst too, and at your regional events. So congratulations. Thanks, everybody.